Like, share, and subscribe to my channel as I continue to provide with trusted information for you to use to make decisions. I want to speak to you about the sperm. And I'm providing you with knowledge on a matter. Not as simply just sperm, but knowledge on a matter. So I'm going to start off by asking a question. Of all those persons who are males who are listening to my channel, are you aware how your sperm is produced? What enhances your sperm count? And I know you are aware of the relationship between sperm and reproduction, sperm and having children, sperm and fertility. What else do you know about the sperm? And for ladies, what do you know about a man's sperm? Because knowledge is power when applied. In other words, what am I saying? If a female wants to be impregnated, understanding sperm count, and all of that will give her an advantage in assisting the male to accomplish what she wants and for the male to accomplish what he wants. I'm saying to you, applied knowledge is power. And as such, I'm going to provide you with knowledge on the sperm for you to use to make decision. So I'm going to go and I'll stop this presentation intermittently to ask questions and to direct you because the matter is important. Let's begin now on the sperm.
That even if you don't come equipped with sperm manufacturing plants, that this is still important to you. Because let's be honest, if you have ovaries, these sperm cells are coming for you, and so we need to know what type of army we're dealing with here. So let's use the cadavers. We'll go over exactly what inside the testes produces the sperm cells. We'll talk some numbers and even discuss how sperm cells aren't born ready to swim. So with all the maturity we can muster, let's do this. Most of us have a pretty good idea that sperm is produced in the testes, but we want to know exactly what inside is doing all this work. So we have a male cadaver here with a right testicular dissection. So guys, deep breath, here we go. So this is the right side of the inner thigh or the right groin here, and you can see this is the right testis. Obviously remove that from the scrotal sac, but even then you can still see it has a connective tissue covering, which we're going to show you that we've removed in just a second. Then also we have the spermatic cord moving upward or superiorly. Now the spermatic cord contains veins, arteries, nerves for blood and nerve supply to and from the testes. It also contains a tube called the vas or ductus deferens. That vas deferens, you may have heard of a vasectomy before, transports sperm cells that are produced in the testis up the spermatic cord and eventually outside the body. We'll talk a little bit more about the vas deferens a little bit later in the video, but I want to reflect or turn over the testis here and show our dissection here where we've removed that outer covering of the testis. And you can see this is the actual right testis here. Pretty amazing structure. You can even see on top of the testis, there's this C-shaped structure here that we'll talk about a little bit. FYI, it's the epididymis, but we'll get into that a little bit later. But we need to show the internal and the
pause. And I'm going to talk to the men now. Why it is that when a man has reached or is about to climax, it feels as though something is running from his upper back. Why, gentlemen, when the sperm is actually in the testes and is moving from the testes to the penis and out? Why is that there, that association? And are you aware that the sperm is a really living organism that moves as just is alive as you are alive? Let's continue watching the video.
That is inside. And if you look closely in there, it almost looks like there's these little stringy type things here. And these little stringy things are tiny little tubes that are in each testis, and these little stringy tubes are called the seminiferous tubules. There are up to 900 of these in each testis. That's why, again, it looks like little stringy things. They're tiny. And these seminiferous tubules are where sperm cells are produced. Now, the process of sperm cell production is referred to as spermatogenesis. And we know spermatogenesis occurs in these seminiferous tubules. And I want you to think of these tiny little seminiferous tubules as little tiny hoses. And we know if you took a hose, you know the wall of the hose, typically made of rubber, and then we have the inside of the hose where there would be fluid flowing through. We call the inside hollow space the lumen, but the wall of these seminiferous tubules is where all the magic happens, because embedded in the wall are these stem cells that actually produce the sperm cells. These stem cells have a name. They're called spermatogonia, which kind of thinks or sounds like this mythical land where maybe we could think of sperm cells being produced by spermatogonia, or in the land of spermatogonia. So those spermatogonia, those stem cells embedded in the wall of the seminiferous tubules, are pretty busy and producing sperm at what some may consider an alarmingly high rate. They can produce up to 300 million sperm cells in one day. If we were to average that out over a day, that's approximately 12.5 million per hour, 208,000 per minute, and about 3,500 per second. I just created 3,500 sperm cells and 3,500 more. Look at me go. So before all you males go out there making claims that you create troops at a ridiculous rate, we have to first understand that these troops, it takes a while for them to develop, and they're not born ready to swim, or in other words, they are non-motile. What's crazy to think about is if I go to this dissection, these seminiferous tubules that you're seeing in here, that development or that spermatogenesis takes up to 65 to 75 days. So these are developing within the wall of the tube for 65 to 75 days before they even get into the lumen of the tube and move down to the next structure where they're stored. So let's kind of review and put all of that together here. So if we take a look at the testis again, you can see if we go inside, there's all these seminiferous tubules here and here. And that's where the spermatogenesis is taking place for 65 to 75 days, and specifically just in the wall of the tubule. For 65 to 75 days, they haven't even made it into the actual hollow space or the lumen. But once they hit that point, spermatogenesis has occurred. 65 to 75 days later, the sperm cells will move into the actual lumen so they can move to the next structure in the testis. So coming back to this again, let's pretend we've moved into the wall of those seminiferous tubules.
This is quite a lot for first timers to sort of understand. And as somebody who is in public health, I'm bringing you information for you to use to make decisions about your body, make decisions about your life. So sperm is not as simple as ejaculating, or isn't as simple as drinking water, or isn't as simple as just being alive. It's a complex phenomenon, biologically that is, and is one that both men and women ought to pay more keen attention to. And even how you eat, what you do, how you exercise, the type of clothes you wear, and how tight your underclothes are, and the type of underclothes that you wear. And you need to understand clearly that for you to get even a better quality sperm, the sac or your scrotum needs to be cool. The hotter it is, the more the sperm are reduced in terms of quality. So are we destroying ourselves as men by being ignorant to what is happening in terms of the scrotum sac? And I'm saying to you, knowledge and applying knowledge is power. We need to actually get into this issue of knowing more about the sperm, it's how it is built, what happens, how we protect it. All of that is important as we continue to move towards knowing more, protecting current and future generations. Like, share, and subscribe to my channel as I continue to provide with trusted information for you to use to make decisions. And ladies and gentlemen, if you want to know more, I'm saying go into the description, see what is actually happening so you can get a clearer and better understanding of what is it that I want you to learn. See you next time.